This investment right here changed the game for me. And while I expected it to rise over time, I didn't expect to purchase something so unique, which has ultimately become a genius Pokemon investment. Though, like many of you guys watching, I am in a constant battle with myself related to buying Pokemon cards and products. I'm literally constantly having like this inner battle because I have a tendency to overspend on Pokemon cards, and truthfully, this has placed me in some difficult positions because I had a bit of a lack of self-control, and I've actually kind of had to really learn how to manage my spending habits, and it's hard, right? Because nearly every card or product that I want to buy, I actually have decent confidence that it will rise in the future. So, I kind of always have this thing where I'm like leaving an opportunity on the table. Though at the same time, I also have a family, I have a daughter to look after and provide for. So I've done like a lot of inner work to try control this issue of overspending. And honestly, a big shout out to my partner Chanel, because she actually helps me out a lot with this area, because it's one of my weaknesses. I can really overspend on stuff, especially Pokemon cards, which is probably a little bit embarrassing to admit because I am a 30-year-old man, but who knows? There probably could be worse things that I do anyway. But nonetheless, this card was a bit of a smart decision that I didn't really plan for it to be like that. Though, last year I was in my deal phase, right? I was buying products and cards and I was hyper fixated in getting the best deal. And this is actually how this unique purchase came along. So this purchase was made at the same time that Pokemon Legends ZA was announced, and I made a connection point because of that. Because Legends ZA was announced, it was shown that it would be in the Kalos region, which is Generation 6. Now, I made the connection that Mega Evolution cards will return. Now, this wasn't officially announced, though I had this weird feeling, dude, and it's you cannot have a game about Generation 6 without including Mega Evolutions. It's literally Gen 6's whole theme, and because of that, I thought Mega Evolution cards will begin to be desired once again. So I actually made a video last year in the 10 most underrated Pokemon cards to look out for. And I think it's actually super important that you see this clip from April 2024 so you can actually get some context. So check out what I said all the way last year when Legends ZA was announced. Now, number one on the list for cards that could skyrocket are Mega Evolution full arts. Times are changing, and now with Pokemon Legends ZA underway and millions of fans that are about to experience Mega Evolution again, these mega cards could be seen as nostalgic treasures from the past. Just like in 2003 when Skyridge was released and it was overlooked, I feel Mega Evolution full arts will have a similar vibe. So during this phase of Legends ZA, I had this intuition that Mega Evolution cards will eventually be popular once again, but as I was sitting on eBay, I actually saw a gem listed for a ridiculously low price, right? And the card was this PSA 10 Mega Heracross from Furious Fist from 2014. Now this card has a PSA 10 pop report of 34 copies. So it's a super, super low pop card. Now low pop doesn't actually mean anything if it doesn't have the demand to meet it. However, considering this is one of the top chase cards from Furious Fist, which is a set from 2014, along with it being a PSA 10, along with the fact that I'm a Johto fan, and it's a whole generation that I started on, I thought this would be an awesome purchase. Now this card was listed at around, from what I remember, it was around 275 AUD, which is, give or take around 180 US. And I thought, you know what? Chanel is going to be happy that I'm not overspending too much. This card is awesome. And you know what? This card is actually genuinely rare. So I said, I'm doing it. I reckon Mega Evolution cards will gain some traction because of Legends ZA. And truth be told, that is actually happening right now. So I actually went on eBay and check what is happening. All right. So as I said, I was right here, and on eBay, you can see right now a PSA 10 mint Mega Heracross M ultra rare is listed for 1,250 USD, and it has 24 watches. Now here is the thing, right? Here's the big kicker about all this. This person who's got this listed, they are kind of at the top of their game right now because there is literally no competition for this card. It has a PSA pop report of 34, meaning you kind of do dictate the market a little bit when you have a pop report this low. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I got some muscles in me now. I feel like I got that power, but I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna, maybe you, if you got it, maybe you can sell this card. I don't know. But it is kind of interesting to see that, someone's kind of listed it for 1250. Now, here's the thing, because there is no competition, I don't think that they will get this price, nowhere near that. But I do think that this card is probably, because of the hype and how hard it is to get as a PSA 10, it could probably get, somewhere around, you know, 600-700 USD because they are super hard to find. And more so because it's from 2014, right? That's another whole thing that we need to consider, right? Because sometimes when you go on TCG Player right now, if you go on Mega Cards, it's actually sometimes hard to find cards listed for near mint. You'll find moderately played, heavy played, damaged, and all this. But to get near mint is hard. Now, here's the other part, right? Someone may list it as near mint, but you really have a hard time kind of understanding if a card from 2014 really is near mint. The reason for that is because people kind of protected their cards differently back then. Like there's even videos you can see of YouTubers opening packs or showing their collections. A lot of people didn't even sleeve their cards, dude. Like, it was just like, oh, I'm just pulling it out, or they just put it in a binder. Right now, I mean, we're completely different, right? We sleeve the card, we put it in the top loader, we put, you know, those freshness sachets so, you know, the moisture kind of gets taken in when you close your binder. I mean, we are in a different game, man. So it is going to be very hard to see whether or not these kind of cards can even grade PSA 10 that much anymore. The real thing here is if you can actually get this card as a PSA 10. It is a niche collectible. It's very, very isolated, though right now there's only like 2 Mega Heracross cards in the whole market, and this is a top chase card from Furious Fist. It is anyone's guess where this card can go. Also, I just want to say, if you have been enjoying this video so far and love content like this, definitely feel free to subscribe to the channel. I cover a lot of topics relating to Pokemon collecting and Pokemon investing, so it's always awesome to see new faces on board. Now, also, you need to remember, sure, this Heracross looks exciting, but because of its almost non-existent pop report, it's an interesting niche collectible. And I'm juggling whether or not I should keep this card or whether or not I should sell it because we're in this like Mega Evolution hype period, because this is a kind of very much priced for the time kind of collectible. I mean, while Mega cards right now are pretty in demand, it's gonna sell pretty easily, but if the hype leaves or no one cares anymore, it could sell again for a very small amount because it is very niche. Like Mega Evolution cards, while they are hyped right now, it's not like their artworks are out of this world. I mean, like honestly, they're just part of Pokemon's history. So I think this is a really interesting discussion since collectibles are very much time-based investments, and you know, to get the best price is when you sell at the best time. And right now, my mind knows it's a good time to sell. But at the same time, it's one of those cards that once it leaves, I'm probably never gonna get this back either. It's funny though, because all of last year, Mega Evolution cards went nowhere anywhere. Like they were just like so quiet, right? Though with the new hype that's building for the Switch 2 and Legends EA, along with Mega Evolution Pokemon cards now being officially revealed, Mega cards are just climbing in value and they're actually gaining some serious steam. But check this out, it's actually pretty interesting. Right now I'm on the Mega Lucario full art, right? Now you can see this is the alternate art. This card's climbed pretty steadily in value. In December last year, it was selling for 20 USD, and right now it's shot up all the way to $58. And I do think with Legends EA on the way, the fact that these are currently the only Mega Evolution cards we have, there may be a bit of a market for these cards. Don't forget, man, Pokemon is cyclical. It goes in the seasons. One thing when you understand Pokemon really well, I'm not just talking about the TCG, I'm just talking Pokemon as a franchise. What's really important to understand is Pokemon cycles their franchise. So if you know this, you begin having a superpower when it comes in buying and investing in collectibles. Because right now, Mega Evolution cards is something that I had a bit of premonition for, because when Legends EA was announced, I straight away made the connection point, hey, Gen 6 is back. That means Mega Evolution cards are gonna be back. That means all those people who have nostalgia for Mega Evolutions and they haven't seen them for such a long time, the last time we saw Mega Evolution was in Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. That's how long it's been, since 2018. So as soon as I saw Legends EA, I knew there was going to be hype for Mega Evolutions. And of course, it is playing out now because we are slowly getting closer to Legends EA. I was probably a little bit too early on that. But guys, don't forget as well, Gigantamax, right? When Gigantamax released, everyone was like, oh, I don't like Gigantamax. Oh, it's not interesting. But as time goes on, people get nostalgia for things. And then when all these people that, you know, grew up playing Sword and Shield, when Gigantamax cards release well into the future, people are going to be like, whoa, all those old Gigantamax cards that you can get for like $3 or $4 right now, maybe they're also going to have similar price increases. So this is what can happen, because you really need to understand Pokemon is cyclical by nature. Now the next one is Steam Siege Gardevoir EX. Now Steam Siege, yeah, a lot of people meme the set that it's one of the most, you know, boring sets of all time, but nonetheless it does have this pretty cool Mega Evolution Gardevoir card, and you can see this card was selling for $17 in December and currently selling for $43. If we pull this into the year graph, you can see that this price was always at that point. You can see this was always a $10 card in near mint, and right now you can see that graph has had that huge spike spike, which has all been caused by Pokemon Legends EA. And of course, Mega Evolutions are just interesting again, right? Everyone's excited about them. And here's the thing, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, Mega Evolution cards, the artworks, they're not really something that you go, wow, they're incredible, right? They're kind of something that you just kind of buy because they are a piece of Pokemon's history. I don't think these cards are competing for anyone saying, hey, these are the best cards of all time. Hey, Mega Evolution artworks are so good. Mega Evolution cards, I mean, they're a little bit, they're a little bit obnoxious, right? I mean, they got that huge character text all over them. They're all over the place. They're not exactly a card that you'd be like, wow, I'm so proud of this. I'm proud of my Heracross, but at the same time, you're not being like, whoa, look at this Zeraora V from Chill and Rain, or look at this amazing Gengar VMAX that I got. When you got your Mega Evolution cards, you're kind of like, yeah, it's a Mega card, and then you have to explain yourself why it's cool. It's not that someone's just gonna look at that card and be like, yeah, this is amazing, dude. Also, if you're interested to see some of the market movements with certain cards, there's actually a whole channel designated for this on my channel's Discord server, and it's called Market Movers. You can actually also enter some awesome Discord exclusive giveaways. The server invite is in the description of this video. But nonetheless, we can also see the Mega Charizard from Evolutions. This has also had a pretty significant price increase. You can see this card was selling for 52 USD in December, and of course now selling for 109 USD, pretty much doubled in price in only a few months. And I do think, believe it or not, if Mega Evolutions keep getting this kind of, the fire keeps burning for them, maybe these prices can keep going up. Don't forget, these are a real relic of time, and it depends if that, 2013 Kalos kind of region, all those collectors from back then, if they start re-entering the hobby now, they're kind of getting to the point where they may have more disposable income. They're definitely not where like base set collectors are. They have so much more money. All those people that grew up in base set 1999, they're well established into their careers now, so they really have that kind of money where they can spend on collectibles, depending where they are in their life. A lot of people who grew up in Generation 6 probably aren't at that point yet, but you got to remember, once they grow up and get to that point, they may get nostalgic for these cards, because the nostalgia really takes 20 years to bake in. That's when we really see these peaks, right? So I am interested, in 2033, what kind of prices some of these cards could get. It could be very, very interesting. Another one is the shiny Mega Gengar, the XY promo. You can see this one as well, selling for $57 in December, right now selling for 80 USD. These ones in PSA 10, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen one on the market. I've actually looked for this one because I really wanted to buy this one in PSA 10. I think there's been one on the market that I've actually seen, and they sell for ridiculous amounts. I can't get really any price data on that right now, but I do know if you can get this one in PSA 10, they really, really do fetch nice prices. The other Mega Charizard you can see is also going up, selling for 112 USD, and right now selling for 141. Not a huge increase, but you can definitely see these older cards are just gaining some steam out of nowhere. Another one is the Mega Gyarados from Breakpoint. Now this is the full art, and you can see this is also from 39 USD, now selling for 70 USD, close to double in price. Don't forget Gyarados, Gen 1 Pokemon. So many people love Gyarados, Mega Gyarados especially, pretty ferocious design, really cool. So I do think that the Mega Gyarados also could be a unique one, especially if you get these in PSA 10. I really like Mega Evolution cards in PSA 10. That's why I bought one myself. But really, the reason why that is because they're going to get super hard to get PSA 10s of now. Don't forget, like I said, base set era, people didn't collect their cards and protect them that well. And neither did this 2014 era, to 2016 era as well. People weren't so particular with their storage. Another really interesting one is the Mega Sceptile from Ancient Origins. Really, really big price movements as well. You can see this was selling for 36 USD, right now selling for 60 USD. Again, close to doubling in price. You can see in the year graph, right now last year you could have bought this for $26, right now selling for 62. And it's very likely that we may be at the start of this Mega Evolution hype, especially when the new Mega cards release, because people do like to research their older sets. It's a really big thing in this hobby. People go backwards. It's a really common theme. Don't ever underestimate how much collectors like trawling backwards in the past. That's where nostalgia bakes in. Like, and I always say, man, nostalgia is a great emotion in some ways, but it's a very, very sad emotion as well. It makes people overspend on money. It makes people kind of draw out times of the past. It's not I wouldn't say always being in a state of nostalgia is too healthy either, but still, you can see it does cause price shifts to happen because, like I said, a lot of people are now getting nostalgic for Mega Evolutions, and truth be told, me as a person that loves playing the games and all that, Mega Evolutions are so dearly missed because they were such cool designs, brands, really Pokemon really took it in a unique direction, and they kind of just stopped and put it away. And I think because they did that, they just want everything Mega Evolution, because it's almost like Pokemon's hiding it from people and they didn't want to release it for such a long time, and now everyone wants to get back on Mega Evolution. So another one is the Mega Venusaur from XY Evolutions. Again, you can see on this graph it's really growing. Just in the last 3 months alone, from 17 USD, right now selling for $31. Again, they're all nearly doubling in price. Now, another one is the Mega Blastoise XY. Same thing here, from 25 USD, right now selling for 51. Really, really big movements. You know, don't forget, of course, Blastoise, Venusaur, always going to have that demand there. Charizard, these are your obvious ones, right? Gyarados as well, because, you know, it's in that bracket. You know, it's always those Pokemon, especially Generation 1. I know everyone memes it, oh, Gen 1 is Kanto, oh, we don't want anything with Generation 1 anymore. I get it, I kind of feel the same way, because Generation 2 is so underlooked, and, you know, a lot of other generations haven't really gotten their respect either. I think Generation 7 deserves a little bit more love, and I definitely think Generation 5 deserves more love, which apparently we will be getting more this year about that. But still, when looking through an investment lens, we always have to kind of be realistic that Generation 1 has the most fan demand, it has the biggest buyer market available, and that way you need to tailor your purchases if you care about growth to kind of meet the market demand. But don't ever think that that can't change either, right? You can get these older fans that get nostalgia, that grow into it, and then, you know, you may have new fans enter. Now, it's an interesting time to be involved with the hobby, right? Especially as we're approaching more people entering, more money's being thrown around, and the collectors within the hobby right now are getting older. And just naturally, the older some of the collectors get, the higher the price ceiling can get for these collectibles as well. Though one question that really comes up after all this Mega Evolution hype is, how do you actually know which cards will actually climb in value, and how can you tailor your purchases in hopes that they will rise in value over time? And the answer to that is right within this video on screen here. Within this video on screen, I actually uncover the 5 ways to build a Pokemon collection that grows in value. Click the video that's appearing on screen right now and we'll talk more about it there. I'll see you on that video.